Now, delegates, we are going to be moving on with the lobbying session. So I will be sharing the document.
Here is the most important feature of the Timon procedure. Resolutions are written before debating. When opening speeches are over, the House moves on to the lobbying session, which is for writing the resolutions. Delegates are also permitted to prepare clauses before the conference starts, but they have to complete the resolution during the lobbying time.
Now you're in the lobbying session. You may act freely.
So we obviously have our differences. We can't deny that fact. However, we do believe that there needs to be proper discussion between preferably us and the state of Palestine specifically. And we are open for both Palestine and other nations to work with us in order to discuss terms that we can have to actually reach a solution and reach something. So what do the other delegates think?
Do you actually believe that this could be effective for your state?
We couldn't hear you. Could you please repeat?
Do you actually believe that after all this time, now you could just be effective upon this issue?
Well, we've always been effective, let's say, but again, the terms that we have to use here need to be specific. By saying effective, what do we exactly mean? And as we've said, we want to have discussions. We're not saying that we are going to reach a certain point, which other delegates may expect and request, but we do believe that discussions should be made. And since this is a lobbying time, we believe that certain states, especially the ones that have something to say about this or really vocal about this topic, need to give ideas for the resolution.
Wouldn't the delegate think that we should have a common ground especially upon the human rights issues, so that we can actually establish some solutions instead of dividing again and not coming to a conclusion as a whole?
Again, would like to highlight the fact that we are on the protection of human rights issue. So therefore, our discussions must be rid of any political agendas, but rather focus on all humanitarian aspects. So focusing on the definition of humanitarian aspects and how we can work on that would be a much better idea than to jump into political conclusions.
Exactly. I was going to say that maybe we should kind of divide this humanitarian needs into like a few topics so that we have like a better understanding of what we're standing at and then what we're going to do as a community.
I agree with all of the opinions. I believe that before all of our political motives, we should be talking about how human rights in Palestine and human rights in the state of Israel create a conflict, and we should focus on the territorial and political discussions even later, because this is eventually the United Nations Human Rights Council, and we're here to talk about how Palestinian society is a Palestinian community.
Would the delegate of Israel be willing to give up their political benefits for the sake of the Palestinian citizens, for the sake of the discussion of the committee?
Well, we'd have to, again, ask you to specify political terms that we have to give up in order to actually give a proper answer.
Okay, we need co-submitters now. So as I get it, Palestine, yes, main submitter, okay. So you can write Turkey as a co-submitter.
Either Iran would like to be a co-submitter too.
Since we're allies with Iran, we would also like to be a co-submitter.
Are there other delegates wishing to be co-submitters? Seems like there is none, and the resolution is finished. Now the lobbying session has elapsed.